And we are live.
Yo, let's just get right into it. Like, let's talk about the masterclass of the Reaper, Bobby Knuckles himself. Listen, man, I didn't watch one interview like of Robert Whittaker versus Gaslam because as far as like interviews, they don't really do it for me. But boy, do they do it in fighting.
Yeah.
Boy, do they do it in fighting. Yo, this dude, Robert Whittaker, man, like that was a masterclass. Like, I'm thinking that what's his name? Kelvin Gastelum is gonna have like he's gonna give way more of a fight like when they're fighting in like boxing range. But Bobby Knuckles looked better than I've ever seen him like in boxing range. Like he looked like an amazing boxer. Like he was piecing him up. Honestly, like it's crazy because like I feel like what's his name? Gaslam in the past, like when he before he fought Izzy, I felt like they were more closely matched up. But I don't know, like this guy, Bobby Knuckles kind of like reinvented himself. Like I think he's a way better boxer right now than he was. I don't know what you guys thought about that fight.
Well, yeah. I mean, he was saying that he spent a lot of time in camp boxing this time and wrestling, but primarily boxing and wrestling. So he spent a lot of time to like, get that more sharp. And he was always a dangerous guy. He has a very, very extensive set of tools to cause damage. He's fast. He's durable. He's strong. He makes good reads, and his counter ability going backwards is amazing. So, probably his best performance up to date, in my opinion. Um, and like you said, he showed a whole different a level to his fighting and incredible performance.
Chris?
Yeah, he looked real good. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Gastelum kind of had him on, the back of his heels a little bit the first and second round. He's done some pretty sharp combinations, but rounds 3, 4, and 5. I mean, you could tell that Gastelum was completely outclassed. It's hard to deny that Whittaker shouldn't get the next title shot, but I don't know. I'm not too excited about it because we already saw Izzy beat him, but man, he looked good last night, and I don't know, man. I don't see a path to victory in any weight class for Gastelum. Welterweight, he hasn't been there in a while. Middleweight, he just seems a little outsized. Can't beat the top competition. I don't know what's going to happen with him, but yeah, great performance by Whittaker.
I'm as a couple of things. It's like you guys said, it's this you see it's his best performance and everything. And I agree. I mean, every time Robert goes out there, I'm minus the Adesanya, it's his best performance. I think his moving in and out was unlike anything I've ever seen. He's always done that. He's always shift in and out. He's hard to hit, but he was just on another level last night. It was crazy. My worry with him with that division is that like I feel like he's gonna be the Daniel Cormier of that division. And I'm speaking for light heavyweight because is he gonna be the greatest middleweight outside Adesanya? Is he just gonna be that guy, like as long as Adesanya's around, I love Adesanya and I love the Reaper, and just the fact that it's a potential that he may not ever beat him. It scares the hell out of me. But to your point where you said you don't know if you're too excited because Adesanya already beat him, but the only other guy in the conversation Adesanya also beat, not as handily. It was a split decision, which the argument can always be made. Vittori should get that next shot because of that. Don't know. But the Reaper that was there last night absolutely can hold his own against Adesanya. Absolutely. Those takedowns, bro. Those like body lock takedowns were like Gastelum, who's an expert in that field, had no answer for it. He looked like he looked like he had nothing. He looked like that dude. He looked like Al Hassan. He just looked like he had no idea what he was doing. To do that to Gastelum, no matter what you say about Gastelum, any fighter who's ever fought him will tell you they don't want to fight that dude again. He's that kind of dude. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know which one would be next. If I'm sitting here right now, I still say Vittori should get the title shot. But that's just me.
I mean, there's a good argument for both because both of them are on a run. You understand what I'm saying? But for some reason, I feel like what's his name? Robert Whittaker's run was just, more impressive because of the opposition, like his opponents. What was it? What was the guy? He had Darren Till. He had
Jared Cannonier.
Jared Cannonier.
And then
Kelvin Gastelum. I feel
who
like
was supposed to be Paulo Costa.
Right, it was supposed to be Paulo Costa. So he had those three guys. That's a crazy run. And then like those fights, the fights themselves were all like, masterpieces. Like each fight, like I enjoyed like thoroughly. Like it wasn't like what's his name? I mean, that guy was pretty. Vettori was impressive too, but the opposition I don't think was at the same level, and I don't think his last fight was really like that impressive. So and then I don't know, man. I feel like Robert Whittaker overall, there's actually a case that he can make for possibly beating like Adesanya. Like I don't really see that with Vettori just because of the fact that Adesanya has that takedown defense. So I don't know. I think Robert Whittaker should probably get it, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, and plus too, when you look at, like you said, Dana White looks at your last performance as well. To me, what he did was more impressive than Vettori, holding down Kevin Holland.
What else was he supposed to do?
Yeah, I understand that, but but because of that, it made for kind of a boring, safe fight. So
let me ask you this: if it were Whittaker and Holland stepped in, do you think Holland could have beat Whittaker?
No.
In the stand-up, if they were just standing up.
Nope. So look, Holland is really good.
You never know. Go ahead.
You're right. You never know, but I think that we aren't giving we're not giving Whittaker enough credit.
Oh no! We are. We're just giving Holland that much.
Listen, Whittaker has been in there with Jacare. He's been in there with Yoel twice. Stood with him toe to toe, strike for strike. Costa. I think that Whittaker is too sneaky and crafty. Not saying that he would dominate and like completely obliterate Kevin Holland, but I think that he's too crafty, and the way he mixes up too with takedowns, I think that he would have had too much for Kevin Holland.
But now, I could kind of No, go ahead.
No. You go ahead.
Here's the thing. Like I feel like John kind of has a point because like Kevin Holland, he's because Robert Whittaker is he's never really been the type of fighter who's just gonna make it a wrestling match like the whole fight. The most he's gonna do is mix it in a little bit. So if they're going strike for strike, Holland is extremely sneaky. Because the thing is, like when he's fighting, you got to remember he beat people like Jeff Neal, who's like a smaller guy who's like probably a better striker. Like we're just talking about straight up striking than a guy like Yoel Romero. So he can definitely hold his own against like really, really good striking. You know what I'm saying? So I think I don't know, man. I think that's not a bad matchup for Holland, to be honest.
Well,
like I'm not saying he would win, but I think there's definitely like room in there, like for him to like pull some crazy shit off.
Yeah, I mean possibly, but once again, Whittaker is a different kind of powerhouse. He's kind of that character in the game where it's like the stats are not all the way high, but they're so high on every part, every level, speed, power. So it's hard to beat somebody like that. It really is.
So here's a better question. Would Whittaker have finished Holland in your mind?
Nah, I don't think so.
Nah.
You think it would have been decision again?
By decision.
Because that decision, like to Rose's point, is not going to be a wrestle fuck.
Yeah.
Like Whittaker's going to want to bang. Even whether it's on the ground, whether it's on the feet, he's not just going to hold him.
Yeah.
So it's like when I only say that because I just think Holland, we just don't know yet. But on the striking thing, he's just on another level.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible.
And then you got to remember too, like Whittaker historically, the people he loses to are the people who are like really unorthodox in striking. So Wonder Boy, Israel Adesanya, like these things just catch him like way off guard. So I think Holland kind of falls under that same category, like of just an unorthodox striker. He's long. I don't know.
So
That's
think
with
there's definitely a case
zero
for him.
wrestling.
I'm
Zero
thinking of a
wrestling.
more interesting matchup. Now that we watch Holland and Gastelum lose, those two should fight. Because Holland's going to fight someone that's more of a striker, and he needs to win a fight at middleweight. And I don't think Gastelum, he doesn't really deserve anyone in the top 5. I think that'd be a great matchup.
I think that'll be 3 and done for Holland. I think the way Holland is right now with his ground game, Gastelum will take him down and murk his shit.
Yeah.
Because he ain't gonna. I don't think he's gonna stop Gastelum. As we see, nobody can. It's fucking crazy, and I don't know. That's a bad fight for Holland. Bad. Maybe a year and a half from now, if he really dedicates and every day takes his wrestling seriously, maybe.
He needs to go to Dagestan. Send him there for a year.
Not even wrestling. He just needs to. He needs to stop the takedown. That's all he needs to do. If he learns how to balance himself during that moment where somebody's trying to take you down, it'll change the game. He doesn't necessarily need wrestling. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Where was that? These last 2 fights. You're a black belt.
But
in one of the best disciplines in mixed martial arts. Like, where was it?
But a lot of times we see that high-level wrestling usually will overpower jiu-jitsu in MMA.
100%.
Yeah.
But what I mean is he didn't even try. Did you see him execute one potential?
He's usually like content. He's usually content to just have the guy in his guard. Like he's never like really like pushing on the hips.
Which is not
like Israel.
That's not the vibes of a black belt at all in jiu-jitsu. They're super active.
It's crazy because like Israel has like a way more like active guard than that. You know what I'm saying? Israel is not even close to a black belt. Israel throws up triangles. Yeah. He gets the foot on the hip. Like,
but hey, I mean, there's some people who have better MMA jiu-jitsu. Like Dern. Dern's MMA jiu-jitsu is incredible. Like
future champ, baby. Future champ.
So yeah.
But
Dern's what weight class again?
Flyweight,
right?
Yeah. Wait, Dern?
That's
Dern's strawweight.
You think she fights the winner of Andrade?
Strawweight. Okay, that's actually not impossible.
She went back down.
So that's not. So that's not. It's not impossible for her to get a title then.
Yeah,
Dern
especially depending on.
It's not impossible even with Valentina.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how confident I am in that fucking jiu-jitsu, bro. When you're a jiu-jitsu practitioner like she is, and opens up those opportunities like she does, all she needs to do is get a handle of Valentina. Valentina can't head kick her while she's on her like flypaper.
No, I feel you. Valentina, the thing about Valentina though is that Valentina is literally a monk. She's like literally a monk.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like she's on that like Ryu type of vibe. Like we don't even know how good Valentina's jiu-jitsu is because
that's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? But she takes some crazy pride in being like 100, like at everything. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know how many times
No matter how good her jiu-jitsu is, I won't even put it close to Dern's. I genuinely think Dern's, if we're doing just jiu-jitsu matches, I think Dern beats anybody on the planet right now.
Okay.
Period.
That's the thing.
And that's what I mean by Dern. Like, and the thing with jiu-jitsu is if you know how to get to that point, it's over. You can literally dismantle anyone within a minute if you know how to open that up. And she knows how to open that up. Just like with Holland. I think Holland, just from a striking perspective, I think I will confidently say he might be the best in the division. If he can learn how to close down that takedown, I think he's like Ngannou in heavyweight. I think he's unstoppable in a sense. Do you see every time they were standing up, Vettori was almost knocked out. Every single time. And Vittori's an animal. And he was almost knocked out every single time they were standing. So it's like, that's how confident I am in Dern's jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, because I mean, sometimes people make the mistake of thinking that, hey, I'm good here too, or I'm great here too, so I'm going to play that game with you. And I think that if anyone does that with her, it's a dangerous game to play. It's better to just, stick to your strong points. Avoid being
run away. Run away.
Well, Dern who knows? Maybe she'll be the champ in 2021. And she might even have 2 straw weights to fight in 2 different weight classes, depending on how next weekend goes.
But she's definitely not gonna get a title shot next. She's too nice. You can tell in her interview, like she says she feels champ ready, but she'll happily take another fight before the title shot. That's how she is. So I think they're gonna give her one more fight before that.
Yeah. She probably should though. She jumped a lot of rankings beating Nina Nunes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Reagan's mama. Yo, her baby's so cute though. I can't even lie. Shout out to Reagan.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay. The Jake Paul fight. Yo, listen.
We have to do this.
Like,
right?
I'm not I'm not a fan of I'm not a fan of Jake Paul by any means. One thing I am a fan of his greatness, right? And I'm not even saying that what he did, like beating Ben Askren was the great part. That's not what I'm referring to as far as greatness. This man he might be the greatest troll I've ever seen in my life. So I respect any kind of greatness. Like we were talking about the Eric Andre show. To me, that's greatness on a different on another level. You know what I'm saying? That's greatness in the sense like he understands and is creative enough to outdo himself each time. Jake Paul is like on that same kind of route in the realm that he's in. Like he's like a crazy heel. Like think about it. He's not an MMA fighter, but he's like the most hated by the MMA community. Like by the fighters, by the fans, and he's pulling it off. You understand what I'm saying? So I have to respect that. You know, like this is he did that in the first round. First of all, that knockout was hilarious. Like as much as I want to see Ben Askren, as much as I wanted to see Ben Askren win that fight, because me and Chris were watching it, like when Ben Askren caught that first, like when he hit Jake Paul with that first like short uppercut, like we were laughing because we were like, oh shit, it looks like he might be able to do something. Then when his head just flies off from that like hook. Oh man, it's like when you look at the replay, you just see his curls about to just fall off his head. Yo, man, that was hilarious. So that's my thought. Oh yeah, and Snoop Dogg, man, Snoop Dogg just being like super ignorant, like that whole thing was just funny, man.
Oh man,
it's like Snoop Dogg was in like the back of an alley, like shooting guys. Like who let this man in here? But man, it was amazing. That was amazing, man.
So here's the whole thing about it, right? Jake Paul is making the smartest decisions as far as who he's picking to fight for himself and his career. Now he can say, I beat a former MMA world champion and knocked him out in the first round.
Jem, you should just stop right there.
Nate Robinson did better than Ben Askren.
Yes,
Nate Robinson.
But to be honest, like the moment that I saw the way that Ben Askren was moving, I'm like, okay, his hip is still damaged. He's not going to be able to do anything in this fight. So I immediately wanted to turn the video off immediately. Seeing him move, in the ring. 2, Jake Paul's interview was hilarious right after the fight. The guy's like, so now that you beat him, a lot of people are calling you out. You got Dylan Danis, Tom Whitley. He said, right now, I don't know right now, but don't ask me any stupid questions.
He said, I don't know who any of these people are. He named a few people. Yeah. He said, I don't know who any of these people are. And please don't ask me those stupid questions.
Yo, but the reason why he's a good troll, like, it's a funny troll because in his mind, like, he's a god. He's a god. So he's the king of some throne right now, and he's in this whole delusional world, and no one has been able to like smack him like wake up yet. No one has been able to like shake him like this is reality yet. So he's right now on the high horse right now, but I will say this: his bodyguard dying might have lit a certain fire under him to really take it really seriously and train like nonstop. So but props to him for taking it seriously, being this like privileged YouTuber. You know what? I want to see Whitley avenge Ben Askren next.
Oh man,
damn son, I'm not even that comfortable with that fight.
Oh really?
To be honest.
so all right. First of all, I want to thank Ben Askren for representing the MMA community. He did exactly what we thought would happen and shamed the entire MMA community. So congratulations for that. Second off, we were having fun watching the UFC fight, but leaving the sound on for the boxing fight because that fucking commentary
might as well turn into
insane.
a circus that it is, right?
That first of all,
stop bullshitting, Chris. Stop bullshitting.
Poked up Oscar De La Hoya saying, "You've got to deflate him like a balloon." I don't know what that man was on, but Snoop was hilarious. Oscar De La Hoya, I don't know what the fuck he was saying. That was the most hilarious commentary I've ever heard. They got 15 people in the booth. You got Mario Lopez talking about Saved by the Bell. Snoop Dogg's passing the blunt around like that. That was the literal definition of a circus. But I mean, come on, like Jake Paul, put this guy against like the number 150 ranked cruiserweight, who's either an amateur or a real boxer, and we're gonna see him go to sleep. You know, he's doing what's best for him. He's gonna do the freak show fights. I'll watch him. But yeah, Ben Askren, I still don't know why they picked him to box and represent the MMA community, but
listen,
shameful,
All right,
shameful
wait,
and
whoa, whoa,
entertaining.
whoa, whoa. Let me just say a couple of things here real quick. So that was plain and simple an embarrassment on the fight community. I just want to throw that out there. Nothing. It was funny. When, especially if you're from the hood, you found funny parts about it, like Snoop Dogg's crazy ass screaming for his 2 million and screaming my nigga and motherfucker over and over again. And the commentating crew screaming over each other. Oscar De La Hoya doesn't know what planet he's on. I don't know what the fuck was going on there. The fact that like I'm seeing stories left and right that Jake Paul is the future of fighting shows where this is going. It shows that this is the social media world we live in. Talent no longer matters, you know. Working your way to the top no longer matters. All that matters is how many thumbs up can click. And Jake clicks them because because Justin Bieber's with him, because he gives a hug to Snoop Dogg, and celebrities like the trolling, so they back him, and then that means you get clicks. I get why people like it. I hated every goddamn second of it. I hated it before it started. I want to tell anyone, especially in the MMA community, that I thought Ben Askren was going to win. That genuinely thought so. You're a fucking mook. You're an idiot. Nothing about you makes sense. Nobody with an even slightly sane mind thought Ben Askren was going to even attempt. And then I would say that you said the security guard passing, may he rest in peace. I think Jake Paul was working hard no matter what. I want to make sure I make this clear. I'm not shitting on Jake Paul's work ethic the past couple of years. I know he's been putting in work. He looks great for how long he's been putting in the work. My issue is that he's just not calling out anybody relevant. He's not calling out anybody who can throw hands back at him. He's calling out retired NBA players. And then after he beats him, he says, I want people to start taking me seriously, and calls out 6 people who don't box. It doesn't make any sense. And I'm over it. His next opponent, if it's not anything near a boxer.
BJ Penn.
Jem, I'm over you.
BJ
I'm over you.
No, he called him out.
Chris.
I think he called him out, though. That's why you're saying that.
Y'all can continue talking about this nonsense. I want nothing to do with it.
But you know what? I mean, yeah, as far as this whole social media circus, you're right about that. That's today's culture we're in now. And he's capitalizing on it. Like you said, a freak show. You had damn near singers who were stripping on stage, and It was just a complete
robot, a big ass
robot.
fucking robot, which was that dude was dope. But it's just like, what the hell?
I hate that robot.
Yeah.
That thing was dancing right up until he
loved
walked into the ring. It was so absurd.
It made me think of that movie Real Steel. That was a really cool movie with Hugh Jackman.
Oh, it's a good movie, yeah.
Now, one thing that I will say is this: Frank Mir, props to him for actually lasting the whole fight. You know, so he
all 300 pounds.
Yeah,
I'm gonna keep it a second. I did not even watch a second of it. Was it boxing or MMA?
It's boxing. And the guy he fought knocked down Tyson Fury.
Yeah,
so,
like 10 years ago.
Yeah, but all right.
Wait, time out. Somebody knocked out Tyson Fury.
Knocked down.
Okay.
So basically, the guy who knocked him down fought Frank Mir yesterday in boxing.
Yeah, we were watching that too.
Yeah,
like Frank Mir actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even like a striker, but he's better than Ben Askren striking wise.
I'm surprised because in MMA he had literally 2 punches that he threw.
He did.
It was a left uppercut, jab, left uppercut, jab. That's literally all he threw in MMA.
Which is more than Ben Askren. So, yeah.
Frank Mir looked like he was back on the kangaroo meat because he was just like 300 pounds of muscle.
He was Jack City.
And I don't say that sarcastically because if you remember, he got that USADA violation and his excuse was, man, I had some kangaroo meat last month. It must have been why I tested positive for anabolic steroids. So maybe he took a trip to Australia and came back jacked. Who knows?
So last thing, I do not want to see BJ Penn fighting Jake Paul.
Oh my God!
Thank you for clarifying that, Jeff, because I was about to pull your friend card.
So to be honest, I honestly think that he's a legend, but it would be more embarrassing seeing someone like him get knocked out by Jake Paul. You know, but
a guy who really has CTE.
Yeah, he's old now. He has problems, and come on now. I'm not saying that he would lose, but come on.
Honestly, if I'm being completely honest, and this is obviously not for Jake Paul, but in my opinion, the more I look at this ridiculous circus that it is, right? I think this is going to sound crazy, but I think Ryan Garcia is the fight to make for Jake Paul.
Ryan Garcia would freaking.
Because if you hear Ryan Garcia's interviews, he does not care about the belt right now. He's all about the people's chant. He's all about what social media wants. He says that clearly. He's like, yeah, I'll get the belt eventually. He's like, I'm not chasing it though. He's like, I'm chasing the money.
Ryan,
and he's
Garcia,
a relatively
he weighs
young
like
guy.
what, 137? He weighs like 137, right?
Probably. I think he'll still watch this shit.
Yeah.
He's got to get past problem child.
But that's what makes it, to me, that's what makes it a bit like kind of interesting. The fact that Jake Paul has some skill. Yeah, exactly. He has some skill, and Ryan Garcia weighs like 137. So, like, if he's outweighing him by damn near 100 pounds, that makes it fascinating. You see what I'm saying? So
there was a report that I read somewhere, maybe a fake article, but saying that Nick Diaz is fighting him next. Jake Paul.
Nick Diaz?
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's Nick or Nate, but one of them. Supposedly, he's fighting him next. So
I like it. I think Nate Diaz, I would say that is a true representation of MMA and boxing right there against Jake Paul.
Yeah, I agree.
If Jake Paul washes Nate Diaz, I may be a believer.
I think Nate is fighting Leon though, right?
Yeah.
Maybe
it could potentially be Nick, even though Nick keeps saying he don't want to fight. Sorry about that, boys. I think a boxing match for that amount of money could wet Nick's beak a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Even though I think I don't know how. I don't even know if Nick got anything left. I know that people talk he's still the man. He still looks in great shape. You seen recent pictures of this cat? He looks like he's been training for a fight. I'll tell you that. So I don't know. I just don't want to talk about Jake Paul anymore.
So thoughts on this guy, the injury that little heathen inflicted on Jakar Close.
Inflicted. Oh man.
What do you guys? What do you guys thoughts on that?
This because in my gosh, that way we were watching, a lot of people were laughing when I told them about one. I'm telling them, I was like, yeah, it sounds funny at first. I'm a guy who has bad shoulders. Like my shoulders are shit. And if he had a pre-existing injury that maybe he didn't even know about, if I'm close enough to you and I push you the way that Jeremy Stevens pushed you and you had something going on, I could easily pop that bitch out of place. Easily. And when this pops out of place, you lose feeling in your arm. Yeah, and that has happened to me multiple times. So, yeah, it sounds funny at first. Oh, from a push, you lost feeling, but it is damn near possible. These guys push themselves to the edge. You never know what they're going through on their bodies. And Heathen is going to be in a lot of trouble if they prove that. A lot of trouble from both ends.
To like piggyback off of that, this dude, they're cutting weight. Yep. And then on top of it, somebody pointed it out, like when I was looking at on Weasel MMA or whatever, like not only is he at like the edge of his weight cut or whatever, but his body is relaxed. Like he's just there in front of him. He's not like tensed up at all.
Exactly.
So when you do that push and then you get that whiplash, like the combination of the two, like it's just fucking, it could be crazy. So
yeah.
Lil Heathen, that was I don't know.
But to me, that was like a move of a veteran. I think he did that to kind of mess with his head because you saw how emotional Close reacted. But now maybe he reacted that way because he felt the injury immediately. He was just like, yo, like what's going on? But man, I imagine a punch. Imagine what. So that could have been a fight of the night, potentially. And
I was looking most forward to that fight, to be honest.
And Stevens was actually an underdog at a certain point. I'm like, really? Stevens the underdog? Like earlier in the week. I'm like, wow, this is weird. I see Stevens. Yeah, but Stevens, people forget, even though he loses a lot, he's a dangerous guy all the time. All the time. So Close gets into those wars. I could easily see Stevens knocking off his block, in the first round or second round.
But that's like saying Gastelum should never be a dog, like just because he's a dog doesn't mean anything. It's just every now and then, just from a skill set, it just seems like it's gonna swing the other way,
But Gastelum, let's be clear, I had no question that he's gonna lose that fight last night. No question.
Oh, me neither. The only thing that was gonna stop Whittaker from winning that fight was Whittaker.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go full heel with Lil Heathen versus Close.
No.
All right, come on. Listen, you're saying that a push. Okay, John, I can see what you're saying. He had a pre-existing condition. It might have hurt him. He was saying he was vomiting. He was saying that like he couldn't see. He had like a laundry list of symptoms. Listen, if one push like that is gonna just shut your body down, multiple systems shutting them down. Jem, like you said, what's a punch going to do? How are you going to get in the octagon for 3 rounds and a push is going to literally just render you unable to move? Come on now. But I still believe Lil Heathen might be in a shitload of trouble, though. So, if he's really injured, maybe his team backstage was just like, beating the shit out of him. We're like, yeah, we'll say it's Lil Heathen. I don't know what happened, but I want to see. Hopefully they schedule that fight again, but come on. Like that push is just shutting down all your organ systems. I don't buy it.
I want to piggyback off of what Rose said earlier. You got to remember, I've not only done this to people have done it to me. When you are just not expecting it, you're loose, you're relaxed, you're just there, whatever, this and that. And then you just get this bang out of nowhere. It can fuck you up, bro. Maybe it's never happened to you, Chris, and lucky you, sir. I grew up in the hood. It happened to me multiple times. That shit ain't no joke.
Listen, this guy wasn't waiting for his job interview at Home Depot. This guy's a cage fighter.
I understand that.
You got to take a push a little better than that.
I've done it to guys that fight every day in the neighborhood. It's the same shit. They always ready for a fight, but it don't mean nothing. If you are just there, you know that you're safe because you're supposed to be, whatever. And he didn't even Stevens didn't even come in aggressive. Like he came in there looking like he was just gonna face off, and then out of nowhere pushes the shit out of him.
Yeah,
I'm not saying either way. I'm playing devil's advocate because everybody's laughing at this cat, and it's possible that something might have been wrong with him and he didn't know. I'm just saying.
And also, who knows how bad the weight cut was? The weight cut can
That too.
do crazy things to your body, to be honest. So he could have
100%.
been at a very vulnerable point. Who knows? But I don't think that he's going to be in a lot of trouble, to be honest. Maybe a fine, if even that. But I don't think that close will feel comfortable whining too much about it, especially being a fighter. If anything, Dana White might say, okay, the commission might do something, but I don't feel like Close is going to push for punishment. He might just want a rematch, you know?
Yeah,
I
he's
don't
got to
know,
see
bro.
first.
I think after you complained about all that shit, you better push for a punishment.
Oh, yeah, because he wrote in the statement, right after the push, I felt numb. So, yeah.
he highlighted that.
Can we
man,
give some honorable mentions from the night? I feel bad because I forgot her name. But the Mexican woman.
Tracy Cortez?
No, that's my baby. We're gonna talk about it in a second.
Lupi.
Oh, Loopy.
Yeah, Genidas. What's her last name? I keep forgetting her last name.
She
is outstanding, bro. She's out. Did you see how she ragged out that chick all over the place?
Oh, the
she
way
looked like
threw
DC back in the day, bro.
She won that fight, in my opinion.
100%. 100%.
Is that the fight? Yeah, I don't think I got to see that fight. Is that the one who fought Penne?
Yeah.
Yes. She looked outstanding, bro. Outstanding.
Now I get that joke in the chat where Jim was like he wants to go watch Joanna fight. The Joanna fight now against Penne to let go of his frustrations. I get it now.
Oh, and also Keish, whatever her name is, man. That was a very, very frustrating fight as well. But she hurt Cortez. I think in the very last round, she dropped her. I think. Yeah.
Was it the last round? I don't know. One of the rounds, she definitely hurt her pretty bad. Yeah. But it's weird. I noticed in Tracy Cortez, it looked like even from like the end of round 1 into round 2, it looked like what fighters look like when they get lactic acid buildup. If you see her striking, it looked like she was throwing it, but then she had nothing behind it. And it's not like that when he leg kicks. I think she the acid buildup was fucking her up, and I think that's why she toned it down a little bit and she started calming down, breathing, whatever the case may be. She came out a little better in the third, but I was watching all the time and I said something's wrong with this chick.
Yeah,
because it was weird.
Yeah. It was very weird seeing her, and because usually her striking is a lot stronger than that, and she's more on point. But overall, it was an okay fight.
Yeah, she's gonna come back better. I mean, I think again to your point, I think this is her first time. I think cutting down to 125. I think I'm not sure, but I know in the UFC it is. So she hasn't been there in a while, and she missed weight. So she missed weight by half a pound. So you know that shit was rough. If you can't cut a half a pound, you know that weight cut is rough. So
yeah,
we'll see what's up on that.
In the next week's 3 title fights, who is most likely to have the upset? In you guys' opinion?
Ooh, y'all not gonna like my choice. I don't know if I should go first or I should go last. I know all 3 y'all probably gonna disagree with me.
Go first because the suspense is killing me at this point.
I think Shevchenko.
Really?
Andrade is a problem, bro. I'm not saying she's going to, but I don't see, as I love Rose, I don't see her beating Weili Zhang. Weili Zhang is an animal. I know I'm Team Masvidal all day, and I am going for him. I keep going through it, and I know he can beat him if he wants to, obviously. I just don't see Usman letting him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Andrade, I think, is the scariest, like, skill-wise for either of the champions. Usman's too dominant, and he's too good at everything. Masvidal can beat him, but I think Masvidal needs more luck on his side than anything. You know, he's great. He's great. His stand-up is amazing. His takedown defense is amazing. I'm excited to see what he does with the full camp, and I hope he wins because I love Usman. I just hope it's a great fight. I hope these guys go there, put their all in, and somebody wins. Cool. But I think Andrade is the biggest fear skill-wise to any of the championship fights.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I was gonna say it sounds wild, but I kind of get what he's saying. Meaning, I don't. So Valentina's a great striker, amazing striker. I think that fight can either showcase both the skill sets really well, and also it could play into Valentina's favor too, majorly because Andrade is so aggressive. But the room for error is so small in MMA that Andrade is still scary. If Valentina
Terrifying.
If Valentina makes one wrong slip or whatever, she can pay for it. So I understand what you're saying. My guess is different though. I'm going to say Masvidal has the biggest chance of pulling off the upset. And I'm saying that because I think that Masvidal's wrestling IQ on more preparation. Now he has more time to actually figure out a game plan based upon Usman's style. I think that if anyone can pull off the upset, it's Jorge.
Okay, you guys are John definitely made a pretty good case for you guys actually made a really good case for Andrade. Because the thing about Andrade is that the old Andrade was good enough to beat Rose, right? But the new Andrade wasn't good enough to beat Rose. Not the new Andrade. Then the second, like when in her second point of evolution, like when she was just trying to be more tactical, it wasn't enough to beat Rose. It was enough to beat her up pretty bad, like break her orbital, all that stuff. But it was enough to beat her. But this last level of Andrade, like where she kind of married the two, like where she has the bobbin, she has the head movement, and she has the ferociousness, because she didn't fight with that same ferociousness against Rose the second time. So when you combine those two together now, those two versions of herself, she's not the same fighter that fought Zhang Wei Li. She's not the same fighter that fought Joanna. She's not the same fighter that fought any time before her last fight. So that makes her super, super dangerous against Andrade. Shevchenko for that reason. Only thing I'm thinking though is that I feel like Shevchenko is usually a few steps ahead of her opponents. There's a reason why she doesn't really get caught. Like she doesn't get her jaw is never like tested. You understand what I'm saying? Like she'll catch shots like in other areas, but like she never gets like her jaw tested. She never gets hit flush like that. So I feel like she's usually like way ahead. But it's an intriguing matchup though, because Andrade is so damn strong. She might be like the strongest person or one.
With that Harambe back, bro. You seen that thing? She's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
And she's not cutting as much weight. Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing that makes it fascinating is that what's her name might have to be on her back foot. Shevchenko might have to be on her back foot the whole time, kind of like Joanna, because she's not going to just ragdoll Andrade like she has done with a lot of like other people, like when she sometimes just takes it to the ground and then just kind of controls them, gets them in a crucifix. Andrade's a black belt and she's strong as hell. So that's an intriguing matchup the more I talk about it. But I still think Jorge has the best chance of getting the belt though, because of kind of similar reasons. He's for one, he has like he fought him already, so he has some data that he's collected already. And then like I said with Andrade, like Usman's gonna have to deal with the ferociousness of Masvidal for 5 rounds. So what are you gonna do? Like you think he's not gonna make some kind of adjustments to the wrestle fucking of the last fight? And if it becomes a striking battle at any point, like Masvidal is definitely like the best striker that Usman has ever faced.
Easily.
So,
yeah.
So that's why I kind of, if anything, that's where the upset will be. I have a feeling there's gonna be some kind of upset like this weekend.
I think we're both right. And I would go as far to say that there could be a 3-way upset.
Yeah.
That's all. That's how good all 6 of these fighters are. That's how good all of them are.
We saw that already, didn't we? Like a year ago, wasn't it with GSP, Cody Garbrandt? We saw 3 belts change hands in one card, didn't we?
Did.
No, wasn't it the night of Conor McGregor too? Conor McGregor lost and Ronda Rousey lost the same night too?
Nah, those are two different. Those are two different.
I think it was when GSP fought Bisping. I think there was 3 title fights on that card.
Yeah, it was GSP Bisping, it was Joanna Rose, and then it was Dillashaw Garbrandt.
Yep.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But for this card, in terms of upset, I think that's going to be Uriah Hall, Chris Weidman.
He said the championship
out of the title
fights.
fights. Title fights.
They fought for the belt like 10 years ago. I believe Chris Weidman won. I think it's Uriah Hall's turn to shine. No, I'm just playing. Yeah, actually, that'd be interesting if 3 belts changed hands. But
no, like who do you think is the most likely to get the upset?
I gotta give it to Masvidal. I think he's gonna do something similar in the first or second round to Usman that he did to Ben Askren. I think Usman is gonna go in for a takedown, and I think Masvidal has just been practicing, maybe spamming a knee right to his dome piece. He's gonna knock him out cold. He's gonna be flatlined, and he's gonna be holding up 2 belts. He's gonna have the welterweight belt and the bad motherfucker belt, and it's gonna turn into a circus.
I actually disagree with you. I don't think Usman's going to immediately go for takedown. I think he's gonna slowly bang with him in the first maybe second round.
Yeah.
I think his coaches are real smart and they understand in the beginning. Usman's striking is crisp too. Not saying that he's on Masvidal level, but he can certainly handle himself, and he's got a fucking chin on him. I think his coach is gonna be like, let's just slowly, let's get the vibes right, let's get the timing right. They got backup plans and everything like that, but I don't think he's gonna immediately go for a takedown.
Now, also, let's give Rose some credit too, because Rose, as you said, Rose beat the evolved Andrade as well in the rematch, and Rose, who knows how much Rose has evolved since then. However, Wei Lee, people are not understanding. I knew how good she was when she fought Andrade. That night I could have won so much money. Actually, I won a little bit, but not enough. But because like I knew that Wei Lee was going to be Andrade. I knew that. Wei Lee is a different kind of animal. The way she trains, her focus, her mindset, she's way better than people even realize now. She might even finish Rose. Don't be surprised if she finishes Rose.
100%. She's like a fucking samurai, bro. She doesn't get talked about enough, man.
Also, another thing too that we're not factoring in is the variables of MMA. So like if you fight somebody more than one time, the fight's gonna go at least a little bit differently the second time. As we see with like every meet with every rematch. So that's another thing that gives me like some confidence in Jorge, is the fact that it's gonna be somewhat different. And whatever makes it somewhat different gives more of an opening to one of them. So what I'm saying? So it's either Usman's going to come out and just shoot a double leg like right away and then make the fight his like immediately, or Jorge is just going to, make a really good adjustment, not throw any kicks right away and have a boxing match in the beginning. So you never know how it's going to go. So that's what makes it, to me a little more dangerous.
Yeah,
for Usman.
I agree. I think nobody's wrong here. I think that's how well matched all 3 of these fights are. It's gonna be a fun fucking night. I can't wait. I can't wait to hear that crowd, boys. You don't understand.
Oh yeah, the crowd's back. Yeah.
When Masvidal walks out, they in Florida, bro. That fucking place is going to melt. Like, if the vibration is going to be so hard, the place is going to break down. The fight might not even happen because the place is going to break down.
It's at full capacity?
Nice. 15,000 plus. Wow. 15,000 and Conor McGregor Poirier already sold out, apparently. 20,000 plus. T-Mobile Arena.
Wow.
I'm here for all of it, baby. All of it.
Let's before we get out of here, let's end with that, like the whole Conor Poirier thing. Do you think that was you think that was like a trap? That was like a trap,
bullshit, right? Like promo?
Yeah. Damn. That pisses me off. I wish I was wishing that it was low key real. Like, I'm very public about like loving to see like scumbag shit in MMA.
Yeah.
Like I think Chris is too. But what do you call it? Like with the I was so ready for that to be real. Yeah. And see Conor like in like his most scumbag form. So because that's the Conor that we grew to love. But this whole like kumbaya type shit, like I can't do it, man. I can't do I can't do it for a second fight.
Are they friends?
Like, I don't think I'm gonna watch a press conference. What?
Wait, hold on. So they're friends again now? They're like,
no, not really.
Like, I mean, Poirier apologized, and I think that was just a trap.
I think the only bullshit part of that was Conor saying he's not going to fight. I think it was. Okay. I don't see Poirier as the type to bullshit or something like that. Poirier takes his foundation extremely seriously. If you put that out, he was emotional about that shit. He was like, you know what, this nigga going to talk shit? Nigga, you didn't even give me the money you were supposed to. You know, like, I don't see Poirier faking that. How? Poirier's a real dude. Like, he's not a bullshit guy. And he takes that foundation real fucking serious. I don't think he's going to play around with that.
They need to hold that press conference in like the Dolly store. Just have one on deck for McGregor every time. Just have him just start throwing them every other second.
Home Depot, baby.
Yeah, right at Home Depot. 1,000 dollies set up.
With Proper 12. Man. Sponsored by Proper 12.
Oh, man. Honestly, yeah, man. I mean, I want to see some kind of tension. I don't think we're gonna get it.
I disagree. Especially if
Poirier already apologized.
He didn't apologize to Conor.
Yeah, he didn't apologize to him.
He didn't apologize to Conor. Yeah. He apologized to us because he was basically saying, like, I shouldn't have brought that out. That was between me and this dude, and it made everything look bad. It made my foundation, you know, I only want positive stuff about my foundation. That's why he said it. He don't give a shit about Conor. Right now, especially if Conor really didn't pay up and still didn't, he don't give a fuck about Conor right now. He's like, you going to renege on that? The one thing that really mattered to me? Fuck you. That's what's going through his mind right now.
And also, I'm pretty
that's
sure
what I want to hear.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Conor's also upset that he even questioned the integrity of his like, you know, his word. So that alone might give Conor a spot like this hillbilly, you know, has the nerve like to like, say this about me and ruin my name. All right, so I'm gonna show him when we fight, but we'll see what happens.
Question is, who's gonna win that fight? Early predictions.
Poirier.
All right, how do I put this? The only thing that keeps me from immediately saying Poirier, because Conor's notoriously good at rematches. And I believe in Conor's ability to adjust and to be better. Conor's a fantastic fighter. We can't take that away from him. Yeah. It's just, it goes back to the same conversation. How much has that plush life fucked up his killer instinct?
That's what I was. That's the main thing I was going to talk about. Like, I feel like Conor is as a technician, as a fighting technician, he's one of the best ever.
It's amazing,
in my opinion.
100% agree.
But I feel like as far as like that dog, like I feel like he's domesticated. So his bark at this point is, I think from this point on, is always going to be like louder than, you know, the dog that's actually like in there. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think he has that anymore.
But I mean, he fought a good fight. Is it like he lost it, or is Poirier just better? You know what I mean? Like, would the new Poirier also beat Conor of you know, who's hungry as well? Like,
I'm not talking about skill. I'm talking about that hunger. Like that. There's a certain type of hunger. Like, okay, like Uriah Hall. I mean Uriah Faber versus Jose Aldo, right? His legs got battered to hell. Like, that was one of the most gruesome like night of leg kicks I've ever seen in my life.
And go 5 rounds.
He went 5 rounds. 5 rounds with that. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, not saying that, you know, Conor wasn't in excruciating pain, but I feel like he was more willing to accept that type of situation, like the loss, his fate at that point. I think he was more willing to accept that earlier than I think he would have, like, in the past, is what I'm saying.
I want to counter that. If you're comparing the two fights, Conor took a lot more damage to the head than Uriah. Uriah was more elusive and things like that. He didn't take a supreme amount of damage to the head, where Dustin was piecing him up, especially once he started not being able to hop on that leg. But to Jem's point too, that Conor didn't fight a bad fight. He just didn't check any kicks. And the calf kick is becoming like the DMR of Warzone. If you guys play Call of Duty, which I know y'all don't, but our followers will understand the reference. But it's just like, it's too overpowered. That calf kick, if you can't check it, if you're not going to take the time to understand how to constantly go look for that check, you're at a disadvantage constantly. And he fucked Conor's leg up with that. And if Conor can't produce that snap, what's he got left?
So, and that's the thing, like, real quick, the last thing that sometimes we forget how great the other person is. Example, I don't care how hungry Conor McGregor is. If he fights Khabib, I'm going for Khabib almost every time. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes someone's just better, or someone's skill set just is a better, antidote for what you have. You know.
And you said
at the height of his career, I told you guys over and over again, that's the one guy I don't want Conor to fight. As long as Conor never fights Khabib, I'm good. But I know he's gonna lose to him. Everybody knew he was gonna lose to him. There was no way.
Yeah, because like Jim said it one time. He said sometimes you could have that like crazy like fighting spirit or whatever, but reality is reality, right? So like we were talking about it was about Israel in that example. So like Israel, he had that epic fight with Kelvin Gastelum where he yelled out "Heart of a Lion" in African, like "Ayabiyokon" or whatever. It was like historic. It was like a movie. But at the end of the day, like he can feel that against what's his name? What's the Polish power? Jan Blachowicz. Yeah. He could feel that feeling, but it doesn't necessarily mean he's always gonna win in that situation. Yeah. Even if he has that spirit, and we know he has that. Reality is reality.
Yeah, I mean, there are times when I've been jumped, and in my mind I'm angry and I'm focused like, okay, I'm gonna fight back, but I still got fucked up.
But you take out like 2 or 3 at least, I hope.
At least, yes.
Because I know I did. Then I was getting my ass kicked on the floor, but shit. 3 of those dudes are feeling me in the morning, I'll tell you that.
That's a fact. Nah.
So everybody got Dustin.
Yeah, I got Dustin.
I would say so. Listen, the one thing I was going to say about that is until the Repo Man comes for Conor's yacht, he's not winning the fight.
I'm going to say this. Conor McGregor wins that trilogy.
Bam. You heard it here first. So we're all going to look like assholes if Conor wins this fight. So, hey, I'm willing to take that chance. But yeah, it's been real. Follow us on Beauty and Violence on Instagram, and stay tuned for the Thirst for Blood next week.
Yes,
making history, baby.
All right, peace out, everybody.
Peace out, guys.